say if the devil comes to you, right, and so I'll give you $100 million, but I want you to turn your back on God. Would you turn your back on God, or would you take that $100 million?
You know, in Hollywood and in the industry and the stuff we do, there's a lot of like insider secrets to keeping your career going.
Tell you facts. Hear it. This industry is not what it seems to be. Listen, this is a rapper, you got 200 followers. I bet you there's rappers in here right now that can rap way better than you. You can rap way better than me. You will never be where I'm at because this industry is rigged. It's rigged.
Everything else is crap, I promise you.
I believe that I had to become a famous, idea.
Yeah.
And get all the stuff that people dream about, and accomplish a bunch of things that that look like success.
Everything around us that we call life was made up by people that are no smarter than you.
And it looks great. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got good, nice clothes, and and you've done something that people admire, But it can never fulfill you. You can never be happy. You know what I mean? It's not where happiness comes from.
I so badly want to be Catherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes.
Okay.
The whole idea of celebrity and fame has become really convoluted.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
Yeah, well, sometimes they don't want to, and they're, Gaga, we can't get, the frequency's weird, and, it's sounding a little bit strange, and I'm like, if you don't get this right now, I swear to Lucifer, I'm gonna...
Did I sell my soul? I sold my soul for you. Now, figure that out. Talking about I sold my soul for you. For all you motherfuckers that's on here, that's asking me did I sell my soul, why the fuck is y'all on here if y'all think I sold my soul? Y'all coming right with me, you dummies.
I've seen so many people forsake their moral code and their value systems just for a little bit of fame, and it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's really not worth it.
In the music industry, it's still very much this exploitative thing. It's still very much people signing their life away, the old deal with the devil stuff. That is still going on. It's unbelievable in this day and age that is still going on.
So one night I was in my home studio, and it had to be like 8 to 10 people off in there. And we had beats and stuff playing in the background and everything. That's how we used to do it, you know what I'm saying? Everybody doing what they do, smoking, drinking, and everything. And actually, it came down to it that dudes actually started being used by demonic spirits. And these spirits started speaking through them, you know what I'm saying? Devils started speaking.
Demonism. Oh, pretty innocent, right? All of them are filled with it. In the movie Beauty and the Beast, the whole first half of the movie is these prostitutes in the town that are dressed just half naked, dancing around, admiring this guy, the big, strong, handsome guy. But all these girls are dressed indecently. They're obscene in their gestures, subliminal messages, and then the whole movie is basically just exalting a certain physical standard of appearance. Beauty and the Beast is a movie about a woman who falls in love with an animal. And in the movie, they keep acting like, well, he's just ugly. He's not ugly, he's an animal. But there's a difference between being ugly and being a beast, being an animal. And if you've seen the cartoon, it's an animal. It's like a dog. It's like a big dog man or something. I mean, it's clearly an animal, and yet she falls in love with him while he's an animal. Only when she kisses an animal does he become a human being. Oh, wow. And you say, well, what's wrong with that? Read the Bible sometime.
Hey guys, it's Jared. I pray this video shed light on the satanic, Luciferian, Illuminati indoctrination of our children through subliminal messages in Disney movies. I understand that you may not believe this, but when you look into who is making these movies and you see the fruits of their labor, it all makes sense. Walt Disney was a Freemason obsessed with the occult and used his movies and his theme parks as a tool to indoctrinate the public into his beliefs. Club 33 in the Disneyland parks is symbolic of the 33rd degree of Masonry. This symbolism is also put into the Disney movies. In the Dumbo movie, after getting drunk, Dumbo and the Rat have lucid dreams that contain satanic, Luciferian, and Illuminati symbolism. Disney also displays its corrupt Satan.
There's a point in the movie where he tells Jasmine to take all her clothes off. But you don't even know it unless you know it's there. You listen to it and he mumbles it kind of under his breath.
Leave me alone.
So how's our little Bo doing? Come on, good. Can you just take off? So how's our little Bo doing? Come on, good. Can you just take off? Come on, good. Can you just take off? Come on, good. Can you just take off?
And I mean, once you know it's there, you hear it just as clear as day. But you didn't know that it was there, you wouldn't hear it. And The Little Mermaid has a filthy picture drawn in the cover on the front of The Little Mermaid. And nobody would realize it until somebody shows you and says, look at this. And you look at it, whoa! And all throughout the movie there are scenes, I'm not even going to describe some of the scenes in The Little Mermaid where subliminal messages are coming on the screen. The other movie, Beauty and the Beast. There, a nude woman pops up a few times in the background of Beauty and the Beast, filled with subliminal messages. Your kids are watching it and their mind is maybe not even seeing it, but it's going into their subconscious. Words flashing on the screen over and over. sex, nudity, filth, all the smut is just coming on the screen. Oh, those movies are harmless. They're filled with subliminal messages. Who knows what your kids are being programmed? Oh, but you know what? I'm sure that it's only just the Disney movies. I'll guarantee you it's the rest of Hollywood probably doing the same thing. And these Disney movies, at first when I was a teenager and somebody showed me this, I thought it was just a couple movies, a couple scenes. But as time has gone on, I've realized that virtually every Disney movie is packed with hundreds of subliminal messages to program the minds of your children. Okay, but then forget the subliminal message. Just the message of the Disney movies is perverted. Even if you just forget the subliminal message. I mean, forget what movies did we bring up? The Little Mermaid. A half animal, half human being. And that's perverted in and of itself. All throughout the Bible, every false god is a half animal, half human being. They're constantly merging of animals and human beings. It's paganism. It's wicked. And yet every Disney movie is pretty much based on the merging of a human being with an animal. It's described in the... I'll tell you what's the worst part about television is the programming, the philosophy, okay? I mean, the manipulating of your mind, the philosophy, the mentality, the system of thinking, the ideology. That's what's wrong with television. That's what's wrong with movies. That's where they're really getting in your head. Take, for example, Walt Disney, right? And many people that will preach against the TV, they'll preach against the movies, they'll preach against Hollywood because it's obvious that stuff is bad. But then they'll say, well, we watch Disney movies. And I've been to the home of preachers and Christians who would never watch TV or the movies, but yet they have the whole library of the Walt Disney movies. You know those white plastic cases? And they have them all lined up, and I mean, they have tons of them lined up. Of course, I don't know how many there are, but there's hundreds of them. They have them lined up and lined up, and they have their kids watching those movies all day long. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to prove to you right now that those movies are wicked. Say, what? Disney movies? Come on, you're crazy. They're rated G. Well, let's see. First of all, did you know this? Did you know that Disney movies are filled with subliminal messages? Subliminal messages. Now, what are we talking about tonight? Sorcery. What are we talking about tonight? Getting inside your mind and messing with you, controlling your thought process by supernatural means or demonic means. Or hey, I'm going to tell you something. Disney movies are filled with subliminal messages. And you say, oh, that's a hoax. I've seen it with my own eyes. When I was a teenager, I had a friend of mine sit me down at his house and show me the subliminal messages in the Disney movies. They're filled with subliminal messages. Let me give you some examples. The Lion King, filled with subliminal messages. Okay, all throughout the movie, there are pornographic pictures hidden in the movie. Like you'll be watching the movie, and just for a few seconds, something filthy will come on. Like off to the side, there'll be some kind of a, reproductive anatomy will pop up, over here, and then over here. There's this one point where the lion, he kind of goes like this, and a cloud of dust comes up and just spells the word sex. And the word sex is put in the Lion King movie subliminally, literally hundreds of times. Hundreds of times. The shapes on the screen will spell the word. And I've seen it. I mean, I had my friend sit me down at his house and pausing the movie, showing me the word S-E-X popping up on the screen at different times because he knew where they were. And he would show me these things. Another one, and they all are filled with it. Aladdin is another one. In the movie Aladdin, there's a part in the movie where the guy, what's his name, Aladdin? There's a point in the movie where he tells Jasmine to take all her clothes off. But you don't even know it unless you...
See, we live in a world where people are doing all type of wild things like drinking blood. You familiar with that? You're familiar with the adrenochrome market?
I've heard of it. I've never actually partaken myself.
Yeah, I sell blood, Black.
On the side?
I told you about my brother sell organs. I sell blood.
Just straight blood.
It's baby blood.
Baby blood.
Baby blood. You most definitely want to scare the child, shake him up a little bit. You feel me? Split the necks, let the blood drip out. Adrenochrome be at a high potency. You drink it, you feel youthful.
Okay.
I have been a spy. I'm out from undercover.
It's bizarre to hear someone as credentialed as he speak so definitively about the more obscure theories surrounding child sex trafficking.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are. We're also importing children by the plane load. Again, children who have no documentation. It's not just child slavery or child sex abuse, it's also child torture, because you have adrenalized blood. You have the whole blood drinking ceremony of the satanic world. All of the child services agencies across the United States of America, they did not start out as organizations to prey on children, but they attract pedophiles. And ultimately, pedophiles end up rising in the ranks and controlling those organizations, so that an organization that initially started out in the service of children becomes an organization that is in fact hunting.
Here's a symbol you should make sure never ever appears on a young girl's toy.
Immediately I went into mama bear mode. I was angry. I wanted to call and text everybody. I wanted answers.
The symbol, which was found on a pink truck toy from a monster truck rally, is a secret communication tool used by pedophiles. According to the FBI, those who distribute, produce, and trade child pornography use several symbols to secretly communicate gender preference, like girl lover, boy lover, and child lover.
It's crucial to understand that historians have provided ample evidence showing the full extent of Catholic symbology. You can go on to the very end, and you'll never find a triangle that wraps around itself, right? So why is Pope Francis wearing it? Why was the symbol embroidered in that particular shade of blue? And of all days, why on International Youth Day? Maybe the Pope's symbol here really is just a misunderstanding. But if it's not, then we have to be prepared for what that would mean about the world we live in.
I remember when I was in England, we were preparing some young English boys. They're from preparing them for First Communion.
Cardinal George Pell, Vatican Treasurer, found guilty of child sex abuse, the most senior Vatican official ever convicted of child sex offences. He told the court Pell assaulted them after Mass, forced him to perform oral sex on him.
Initiation of an atheist, a madman, or a fool. Freemasonry believes that to be an atheist is to be the equivalent of a madman. And they're right. Yet while they propagate atheism around the world, in universities and schools, Charles Darwin himself was a believer in an intelligent designer, a supreme being. He had to be, because he's a Freemason. And that intelligent designer that gave birth to us is named Lucifer in the highest degrees of Freemasonry. See, never tell. He lied to you because that's what Freemasons do. The whole thing is a giant lie that was carefully constructed by mutilating the truth, because mutilated truths make the most successful lies. This is the secret to their success: a lying tongue and a lying spirit, from the 1st degree to the 33rd degree, to each other and to us, to believe in a higher power, or more accurately, Supreme Being. And I can personally vouch for that. And look here in the Masonic Oath itself. The candidate says, "I will not aid or be present at the initiation of an atheist, a madman, or a fool." Freemasonry believes that to be an atheist is to be the equivalent of a madman. And they're right. Yet while they propagate atheism around the world, in universities and schools, Charles Darwin himself was a believer in an intelligent designer, a supreme being. He had to be, because he's a Freemason. And that intelligent designer that gave birth to us is named Lucifer in the highest degrees of Freemasonry. See? Never tell. He lied to you, because that's what Freemasons do. The whole thing is a giant lie that was carefully constructed by mutilating the truth, because Charles Darwin, the father of atheism and rationalism, was an initiated Freemason, doing the hidden hand of Freemasonry in this picture, and the vow of silence in this one. This would have remained unknown to us because no one's going to teach us this. But now we have the tools to see his beliefs, not through his words, but through his signs and symbols. I told you they can't help but to show off their religions, because they think we're stupid, vile, and ignorant. Think about what you've just seen here with Charles Darwin, because I don't know if you got it. You cannot be accepted as a candidate of Freemasonry unless you believe in a supreme being, as exemplified here with Phil Collins, speculated by some to be an atheist, but this seems impossible because, being a Freemason, he has to believe in a higher power, or more accurately,
they tell the kids they have evidence of evolution from fossils. I don't think so. If you find a fossil in the dirt, all you know is it died. You don't know that it had any kids, and you sure don't know that it had different kids. You bring in a bone to the judge. Judge, I found this bone in the dirt. This is the ancestor of all the humans today. They would laugh at you. You don't know that that's the ancestor of anybody. And why on earth would you think a bone in the dirt can do something animals today cannot do? They'll say, boys and girls, you have 2 bones in your wrist, radius and ulna. And boys and girls, look at the whale's flipper carefully. Did you know the whale has 2 bones in his flipper? And they're called the radius and the ulna? Same as ours. Wow. Who named them, teacher? The whale? Think about it.
I'm here to tell my people it's time to stop believing bull just because tell you bull with a straight look on their face. Evolution say people came from monkeys, and the question is, why is there still monkeys?
Even Stephen Gould admitted the absence of fossil evidence for intermediary stages is a persistent and nagging problem for evolution. See, what's happened, these guys have looked for missing links in the fossil record. They can't find any, and so they say, well, maybe evolution happened so fast it wasn't preserved. Maybe a reptile laid an egg and a bird hatched out. Well, who did that bird marry?
This process that brought us to be is billions of years old. It happens very fast, billions of years fast. Here is radioactivity.
We're going to tell the kids in the late 1940s they invented carbon dating. We're going to explain a little bit about radiometric dating and how it's supposed to work, and then show you that it does not work, okay? It sounds good, but there are some assumptions that mess everything up. If we had walked into a room and found a candle burning on the table, and I asked you the question, when was it lit? You say, I don't know, Mr. Hovind, it's burning when I got here. Okay, well then let's do some empirical science. Let's measure the height of the candle. Suppose the candle is 7 inches tall. Who can tell me when it was lit? Okay, nobody. Let's do some more empirical science. Let's measure the rate of burn. Suppose we determine it's burning 1 inch an hour. When was it lit? You're going to have a hard time telling me unless you're willing to make some assumptions. You find a fossil in the dirt, you can measure how much C14 is in it. Very accurately, by the way. And you can measure how fast it's decaying. That's just like measuring the height of your candle and how fast it's burning. Now, when did that animal die? You don't have a clue. Here's what you ought to consider about carbon dating. Samples of known age, it doesn't work. If it's a sample of unknown age, it is assumed to work.
It's just really a hard thing. It's really a hard thing. Your world just becomes fantastically complicated when you don't believe in evolution.
Freshly killed seal, carbon dated 1,300 years old. Shells from living snails, carbon dated 27,000 years old. Living penguins, carbon dated 8,000 years old. One part of Dima was 40,000 years old, another part was 26,000, and the wood next to it is 9,000. Then they tell the kids about the geologic column. They say each of the layers is a different age, you know, Cenozoic, Mesozoic, Paleozoic, Archeozoic, all them Zoic boys. Now if you get a petrified tree standing up, running through different rock layers, I don't think it's smart to say those layers are vastly different ages. Those trees did not get slowly covered by the sediments over millions of years. They would rot and fall down.
Crazy.
They'll say, boys and girls, you have an appendix that you don't need anymore. That's a vestigial structure. That's proof of evolution. Well, excuse me, you do need your appendix. The appendix is part of your immune system. If your appendix is taken out, you can still live, okay? But it increases your susceptibility to quite a few diseases. You could live without both your legs and both your arms and both your eyes also. That doesn't prove you don't need them. There are no vestigial organs. And even if there were, that would be the opposite of evolution. That's losing, not gaining. I was taught when I went to school, man used to have a tail, but he lost it because he didn't need it. I thought, didn't need it? Have you ever thought how handy a tail would be? Have you ever come to the door with 2 sacks of groceries? Wouldn't that be nice, man, be able to grab that door and walk right around and get in it? Lost it because we didn't need it. Man, you could drive the car and tune the radio knob and hold the Coke at the same time.
What we're finding is that natural selection seems to be an incredibly important factor in generating new species.
Natural selection, the key evolutionary mechanism Darwin identified.
The bad designs get eaten by the good ones, and so all you have is good ones.
Natural selection doesn't cause any evolution. It makes sure the bad ones don't survive.
We call it the Oscars, and people are obsessed with it. And when you get this little golden statue, you become a star. What's interesting about this is in the Egyptian culture, they also had a little statue that represented the god Ptah. And see, when an Egyptian king died, it was believed that his spirit went into the belt of Orion, and he then became a star. Very interesting that we still follow after Egyptian gods. There's a lot of these different award shows that pop up throughout the year. There's the Grammys, the Emmys. They honor different aspects of the entertainment industry, but they are all one in the same. Now listen to what Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert call this little image that they give to each other.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
Good evening, godless sodomites.
What are you doing?
I'm bringing the truth, John. We're in Hollywood, the belly of the beast.
You can't just read the prompter?
I'm reading the prompter in here. You can read that pablum.
Award show banter is not pablum. Reality television celebrates the human condition. By illuminating what's extraordinary in the ordinary person. We're here to honor achievement in that category.
By giving you a golden idol to worship. Kneel before your God, Babylon!
You see, Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart know exactly where they stand in this city of Babylon. And it's very interesting, Jim Carrey also echoes the same sentiments at a different award show.
I'm here tonight, as all of us are, to pay tribute to an American icon, an actor, a filmmaker, and truly one of my personal heroes, Mr. Clint Eastwood. I'm also here because the AFI is paying me $20 million and $3, making me the highest paid megalomaniacal boy king in all of Babylon.
When Kathy Griffith was given an Emmy Award, she lets us know exactly who is her God now.
We're going to run the unedited version.
What?
And be warned for you people, you may be offended, maybe. Watch.
Now look, a lot of people come up here and they thank Jesus for this award. I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He didn't help me a bit. So all I can say is, suck it, Jesus, this award is my God now!
You see, a lot of these celebrities are very aware of the fact that they are treated like gods.
Well, this year, and I'm thankful to the Oscar gods, we have a great crop of films.
You are, of course, nominated this evening. How does it feel being nominated tonight?
Always an incredible honor. The other names of the gentlemen are all gods as far as a category concerned.
It's very interesting when you look up where the word Oscar actually comes from. It's Scandinavian and Old English in its origin, and it means divine strength or divine spear. Divine, of course, means of, from, or like a god, and a spear is a weapon. Is it possible, brothers and sisters, that Satan is using these celebrities and movies as godlike weapons? Satan is using these celebrities and movies as godlike weapons against us. Up until 1999, the Oscars was held at a building called the Shrine, which was founded by William Florence and Walter Fleming, two high-ranking Scottish Rite Freemasons. Hollywood has long been interested in Freemasonry. Gene Autry, John Wayne, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, C.C. DeMille, Clark Gable, Walt Disney, Oliver Hardy, you name it, the list goes on. Many celebrities have come out and admitted their connection to Freemasonry. In the book Morals and Dogma, written by Albert Pike, on page 321, Freemasons let us know exactly who their God is. It says, Lucifer, the light bearer, strange and mysterious name given to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, the son of the morning, it is he who bears the light. And with it splendors intolerable, blinds feeble, sensual, or selfish souls. Doubt it not. When the movie Life is Beautiful was awarded at the Oscars, the camera quickly pulls back and shows a wide of the stage. When you pause it, you can see elements of Freemasonry built into the very set. If you look at a Masonic tracing board, a tool a Mason uses to teach and educate people involved in Freemasonry how to spot things that are connected to that organization, you can see the checkered floor, you can see the archways, you can see the sun motif in the background. All of these are letting you know exactly who owns this organization. When the Oscars moved from 1999 from the Shriners Building to the Kodak Theater, where it currently resides today, you can still see a lot of these elements of Freemasonry incorporated into the stage. You have the sun motif in the ceiling. You have the checkered flags upon the stage and the arches. Outside of the Kodak Theater, you have the gate to Ishtar. And you have Babylonian gods put on the outside of the gate. The whole area surrounding the Kodak Theater was designed after a 1916 movie called Intolerance, where they recreated the very set that they had for Babylon. They have the same exact elephants. They have the same exact gate of Ishtar. They have the same exact Babylonian gods over the top of the gates. You see, if you go and visit the very home of the Oscars where they hold it each year, you can see a plaque on the wall that says the Babylonian Court. At the 2016 Oscars for Best Cinematography Award, the camera shows you the stage and you see an unmistakable Tower of Babel embedded into the design. You see, brothers and sisters, they know exactly where they are. While the world is wandering after all of these celebrities, we would do well to heed the very advice from Jesus' lips himself. In Luke 4 verse 8 it says, "For it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall."
The movie starts out with a depiction of a city of gold, which resembles a peaceful heavenly environment. Pay attention to the terminology.
I have sacrificed much
to achieve peace? Or, through your arrogance and stupidity, you have opened these peaceful realms and innocent lives to the horror and devastation of war? You are a vain, greedy, cruel boy. And you are an old man and a fool!
You're unworthy!
Father.
I now take from you your power! And I cast you out!
Please, open your eyes.
Oh no, this is Earth, isn't it?
Where'd he come from?
There is only one who's the epitome of greed and vanity, who traded peace for war and was cast down to earth.
Your ancestors called it magic. And you call it science. I come from a place where they're one and the same.
He has disobeyed his king. His fate is in his own hands now.
I will end this.
A parallel story to Lucifer disobeying his father and king, once again making him the hero, the savior of Earth. Another noteworthy point is that magic was equated to science, where they are one and the same, erasing the line that divides them. This is a common thread that not only runs through the various storylines, but is at the heart of the comic.
God is real, and God lives inside of me and inside of all of us. And it doesn't matter where I am, I know that and I feel it.
In that time, my hair I grew past my ankles. I slept on a mat on the floor. I swallowed a sword. I levitated. Went to the basement, confessed my sins, and was baptized in a river. Got on my knees and said amen, and said I mean. I whipped my own back and asked for dominion at your feet. I threw myself into a volcano. I drank the blood and drank the wine. I sat alone and begged and bent at the waist for God. I crossed myself and thought I saw the devil. I grew thick in skin on my feet. I bathed in bleach and plugged my menses with pages from the holy book. I bathed in bleach and plugged my menses with pages from the holy book. But still inside me, coiled deep, was the need to know.
The party say you have to be half naked. I'm like, first of all, I ain't going half naked nowhere. Second of all, it was like a lot of signs that was adding up that night. Like the same night on Hollywood Boulevard, the party was off Hollywood Boulevard, some guy got shot and killed on Hollywood Boulevard, so the whole street was shut down. So that was another sign. So then we get to the party. So we get up there. They talking about, oh yeah, you can't bring your phone in. I'm like, first of all, who ain't bringing their phone in? I'm bringing my motherfucking phone in. I don't give a fuck who you is. It could have been Kim Kardashian, and I'm bringing my phone. And then you got to sign some papers. What am I signing some shit for to get into a party? Like, what? This is where it really threw me off. They said they had to prick your blood to get in. I said, oh no, I'm good. Everyone else went, I called my Uber and left. Like, that's the shit where I think they be trying to get you. And like, if it's like you gotta think about it, people move to LA for a dream. They chasing money, fame, clout, whatever. So they gotta think about it, somebody, a young girl that's trying to get on, that just moved out there, she gon', oh hell yeah, better throw it in there. You don't know who else in there. Like, connections. Me, I'm good. Like, that shit gonna come naturally. I don't gotta prick my finger, take my blood to get into a party. If it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. I'm not finna do something like that. If you in the industry, the devil, they, like Illuminati, all that shit, they try to get you. Especially when you got a big influence, you around that shit. They'll try to get anybody, but you just gotta be smart and have discernment and have God's favor over you. Cause if you don't got that and you in Cali, you gonna get sucked in. Well, let me tell you, what they do is they invite you to these parties, these house parties, and then they be like, oh, Whoop the Whoop gonna be there, like your favorite rapper, the big ass person, and Whoop the Whoop gonna be there. Oh, before you get in, you gotta give us your phones and all this shit, and then they might do some gay shit to somebody, and then like try to like and record it and tell them, oh, if you expose us, we gonna post it everywhere. And I know that from word of ear, but I know they do a lot of crazy shit in these house parties. Let me tell you an experience I went through personally. So I was with some friends in LA, and it was this big influencer party. Should I say her name? It was Bella Thorne party. So I got invited from some other friends. It was on Halloween. I already don't celebrate Halloween. That's the devil's day. But I happened to be with them.
Kind of sang about, you know, what was going on in my life at 15, and that's how I got introduced to the music industry. Because I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music. Yeah. But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil. Well, needless to say, sold my soul.
It's a dance with the devil, a mature, real wrestle. It's a dance with the devil.
I'm trapped, if I could go back, I never would've rapped. I sold my soul to the devil, I'll never get it back. I just wanna leave.
Do you record while the bus is moving, or does it have to come to a stop?
Yeah, well, sometimes they don't want to, and they're, you know, Gaga, we can't get, you know, the frequency's weird, and, you know, it's sounding a little bit strange, and I'm like, if you don't get this right now, I swear to Lucifer, I'm gonna, you know, I get a little bit mad.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
Why is your hand over your eye?
Because I'm a devil worshiper. What are you talking about?
Alright, well, I have tickets to see the devil worshiper.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me. And he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, you know, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage. So he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent.
That must be nice to have like an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame every...
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
I never listened to Nicki Minaj, so that's no loss. So she worships the devil, I heard anyway, so.
And boy, I got you. Hey, guessing that I'm making deals with the devil, and I know it's gonna get me in trouble. I gave into the fire. I know I should have fought it. At least I'm being honest. I know that this is my fault. I should have been more careful. The devil's got them to me. Through this dance. Baby, come on back to me. Die for you, die for you. I sell my soul to the devil.
You're still out here doing these songs, you know, you're still on tour.
I do, but I don't take it for granted.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with you know, with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
I keep on dancing with the devil. You and I made a deal. I was young and shit got real. We've been through hell and back. He's got my mind. He's got my soul.
By the all-seeing eye, ye are worthy, we are not.
What are you two idiots doing?
Secret ritual.
To inaugurate you as president. You're the president of the Secret Royal Order of the Good Neighbor Lodge.
The Secret Royal Order of the Good Neighbor Lodge.
It's a secret.
Our new president is a genius.
genius!
Yeah. I would like to call this meeting of the Good Neighbor Lodge to order. Let's begin with roll call. Patrick. It's Squidward. What is it about the third Wednesday of every month that makes Squidward so happy?
Squidward, tonight's the big night. Hello, Brother Roger. Come right in, Brother Squidward. Thank you. This almost makes the other 353 days worth living for. For centuries, cephalopods have had but one nemesis. Let he among you who wishes to join the lodge face your greatest fear, Cantankerous Moray Ilias! I'll never forget my initiation ceremony. SpongeBob, Patrick, did you follow me here? Brother Squidward, for thousands of years, no outsiders have witnessed this sacred initiation. You have desecrated the sanctity of this lodge. But I can't believe it. They kicked me out of the Cephalopod Lodge.
Let the initiation begin. All stonecutters must take the leap of faith. If you survive this 5-story plunge, your character will be proven.
Happy landings!
I think I have to do it again. My blindfold came off.
This ritual is called crossing the desert. And this we call the unblinking eye.
Hey, have you ever noticed that the crossing the desert is a lot like the unblinking eye? It's exactly like the wreck of the Hesperus.
And now the final ordeal, the paddling of the swollen ass with paddles.
And by the sacred parchment, I swear that if I reveal the secrets of the stonecutters, may my stomach become bloated and my head be plucked of all but 3 hairs.
I think you should have to take a different oath.
Everyone takes the same oath. Welcome to the club number 908. You have joined the sacred order of the stonecutters, who since ancient times have split the rocks of ignorance that obscure the light of knowledge and truth. Now let's all get drunk and play ping pong.
Because he's already kind of heavy, you know.
Well, to be honest, I never got around to ordering that part for you, so it's still gonna be a couple of weeks.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, yes.
But what if I were to shake your hand in this wise? Wah, wah,
Wait! Wait! Well, I didn't realize you were a member.
So long, suckers.
Same old space, huh, Dad?
Yep, but they gave me these rollerblades so I can glide to the front door. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sweet. Jealous?
Well, no, we've got the same chair.
You're jealous.
Your membership pack.
What's this?
You put that sticker on your car so you won't get any tickets. And this other one keeps paramedics from stealing your wallet while we're working on you.
Oh, and don't bother calling 911 anymore. Here's the real number.